Not even about women. Women are secondary.
What happened to masculinity? What happened to chivalry? What happened to men courting women?
Vogue magazine posted an article, and the article says, is having a boyfriend embarrassing now?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Like once I saw pornography, I was like, okay, well, here's a way that I can be near a woman where I can have some form of intimacy without having to have a real person there.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort? I just wonder when it shifted, because I feel like that is the whole downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone now. Because men just don't care anymore.
Dating one girl at a time, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. You date more women at once, then that's going to make it faster to find the right woman.
Actually, this is good advice if you want to stay single forever.
Want me working my ass off so I can give myself the life that I fucking want, which is my right as a human being to want whatever life that I want. I'm not going to be feeling girly pop girl. I'm not going to be feeling all feminine, like willing to drop whatever I'm doing to come see or come go to dinner with you or whatever. Whatever you say doesn't go, bitch. All right? I'll be there when I get there. I'm not going to be present when I'm with you. I'm going to be thinking about work.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And honestly, the more that I work and the more that I focus on working, I'm just not interested in dating.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
What kind of a wuss beta male is splitting the check? Like, who are you?
I split the check quite a lot.
Why are you gay? You are gay. You are a transgender.
By the way, that money you save is not worth the honor that you compromise.
We did this. We created this freaking problem. I hate it, okay? I hate the system we've set up. We've villainized masculinity and somehow still expect it or demand it to pursue us. You can feel it, can't you? I know I can. This tension between men and women right now is on another level, okay? Every tweet, every podcast, every rant, every comment section, oh my God, it's just another shot fired in this never-ending gender war. And you know, it's not playful anymore. It's gotten pretty ugly. And where's it gotten us? Honestly, poisoned us. So much that we've actually normalized this as modern dating culture. But if we're honest, this is not culture. This is decay. This is the entire decay of culture and of a generation. This didn't just appear out of nowhere. Hollywood has obviously been planting these seeds for decades, telling men that they're dangerous, that masculinity is toxic, that authority is oppressive, that being a hero is outdated, and vice versa, telling women that softness is weakness, that beauty is oppressive, that motherhood is embarrassing or a lesser way to live your life, that femininity is foolish. Like, do y'all remember whenever they try to cancel being sexy? Like self-oppression or something? Like they actually canceled the Victoria's Secret fashion show for the sake of inclusivity, and every other body type was welcome except for the hot ones. Ultimately, they really took what made both men and women beautiful and they taught us to despise it. Like, do y'all see that? Now we look around and we wonder why everything is so freaking broken and why everyone's so angry. We've never had more technology, more convenience, more medicine, and yet we've never been more miserable, more disconnected, more ignorant, or more mentally ill, quite frankly. We can connect with anyone in seconds because of social media, but instead it actually just turned into an echo chamber to bitch about the opposite sex. Women saying that all men are worthless cheaters, men saying that women are overly demanding. But the truth, when we get past all the name calling, finger pointing, is that as a humanity, we are horribly fractured. I'm not gonna say we're doomed, probably close. But the truth is that we have replaced reflection with rage baiting. We've replaced comfort with consumption and emotions with medication/addiction to just numb it all. We numb the very feelings meant to push us toward healing, so no one's actually healing. And because this generation grew up online, we're seeing the consequences of an entire world emotionally raised by the algorithm. So I have to ask, is this working? Genuinely, this gender war, is it working? Ladies, my girls, does complaining about men online, has that led to a husband? On the other side, men, does tearing women apart online, does that actually make modern women listen and understand your perspective? Of course not, because no one wins this war. bitterness, and despair, and miserable people who want you to also be miserable. Those are the only victors here. We live in a very blame-addicted world. It's our favorite drug. Every side has a villain, every group has an enemy, and we built an entire economy on victimhood, where attention is the prize, not healing. The left blames the right blames left, Protestants blame Catholics, Gen Z blames millennials, millennials blame the freaking boomers, men blame women, women blame men. It's just never ending. Everyone is stuck in eternal victim mode, pointing fingers instead of looking inward because we think that the world should revolve around our wounds. And that's just not reality, okay? So before we talk solutions, we really need to understand the wounds, because this gender war, it's just a symptom. And to do that, I actually want to pull from one of my all-time favorite shows of all time, and that's Avatar: The Last Airbender, because anyone who has seen this show in its entirety knows that this is no typical kids cartoon. Avatar really shows the tension between the masculine and the feminine, the wounds that we inherit, and the long road from brokenness to redemption. It shows how we lose ourselves and ultimately how we can find our way back home. And I just love to look at stories and how they mirror humanity and see how we can learn lessons from them. So let's start with women, because as always, ladies first. Women are hurting, carrying emotional and physical labor that no one sees. We crave depth, commitment, devotion, and we're dating in a generation where men detach faster than they can really connect. They disappear very easily, discarding women left and right, depending on whether they fulfill their needs or not, and men want to be chased. So we adapted, we hardened, and the girl boss era was born. We started performing instead of connecting. And when we look at the show Avatar, I really realized that Katara is that wound. Not the sweet waterbender that we romanticize.
We'll be there in a few hours. You'll need all your strength.
Oh, don't you worry about my strength. I have plenty. I'm not the helpless little girl I was when they came.
Her mother's gone, her father's gone, her tribe is dwindling very rapidly. She's the very last waterbender, and she becomes the mother, the sister, the healer, the freaking maid doing her brother's laundry while he constantly dismisses and minimizes her voice and her talent.
They even wash all the clothes! Have you ever smelled your dirty socks? Let me tell you, not pleasant!
Katara, settle down!
No, that's it, I'm done helping you. From now on your own!
Not because she wants to, but because she feels like she just has to. Katara represents every single woman who grew up way too fast. Every woman who became a caretaker as a child. Every woman who held the family together while breaking quietly inside. Strength became Katara's identity, but it also became her burden. A burden that no one really saw. And then there's Azula. And we all know her as brilliant, ruthless, the unstoppable, absolute badass that she is. But as much as she's a badass and a baddie, we cannot deny how her story ended. And we look deeper, and we look at the moment in the end when she finally snaps. When her hair is uneven and she tries to banish imaginary servants because she can't control the terror raising inside her. And Zuko's like, I can't tell, but she's slipping somehow. Yeah, no shit, Zuko. The chick's gone. But this scene was so heartbreaking for me because I just wanted to hug Azula, because that scene is not villainy. It's the collapse of a girl who was never hugged, a child raised on fear, not on affection, a daughter praised for perfection, not loved for simply existing. Azula is the woman who never felt safe being soft, who learned very early that vulnerability equals danger. So she became sharp, calculating, dominant, and intimidating, not out of power, but really just out of panic, out of survival. That power without love collapses the soul. I'll tell you this, ladies, trust me, no amount of power or attention will eliminate the human desire to be truly known and truly loved.
I know what you really think of me. You think I'm a monster. I think you're confused. All your life you've used fear to control people, like your friends May and Ty Lee.
Well, what choice do I have? Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way. Even you fear me.
No, I love you, Azula. I do.
But ladies, she's our warning. And yet today, women try to live like Azula and wonder why they have a ton of followers but no friends, why they have a ton of attention but no real intimacy. You see, we traded tenderness for dominance, grace for competition, femininity for performance. We cannot live our lives like Azula and expect Katara results, where she ends up with community, love, purpose, and belonging. Originally, feminism was about only holding women's value and what she can do for men, and I agreed with that. But then feminism drifted so drastically from equality into competition. Rather than challenging men and empowering them to actually step the freak up, we've ironically relieved men of any responsibility at all by saying that they're all useless, and we've left everything up to ourselves. Do you see that? We've essentially doubled the work for ourselves. It was amazing and great and healing for women to not live or get their validation or their worth for the male gaze. But let's be real, what actually happened is that we replaced the male gaze for the algorithm's gaze, seeing life as content to capture, not moments to experience. Nothing is sacred anymore. Weddings, funerals, all used for content farming, addicted to their freaking attention and empty validation from strangers, while our true self and our soul corrodes, becoming a slave to whatever is trending and never actually living, but just living to be seen by people who don't care about you, know nothing about you, can't keep you warm at night, quite frankly. And you know, it's not just women escaping reality, men escape too, just very differently. Women seek validation on social media, whereas men seek validation with porn. Let's be real, okay? Same wound, different drug. And women won't like this part, but it's true. No one else is saying it, so I'm gonna say it. We've forgotten how to listen. We correct men's feelings, we police their tone and sanitize their humor, which I for one hate because I have an extremely freaking dark sense of humor. Y'all don't let me like that, but it's very dark, okay? That only dudes on Instagram or my brothers understand. Anywhere else, I'd be canceled. But I'm welcome with them, okay? Without dudes, well, I would have to be a sanitized version of myself. Like, no, we need men to balance us out, okay? Not everything can be freaking PC. We shame them for being silent, then shame them again when they open up in the wrong way. And that contradiction suffocates men, or it creates an entire generation of beta men. And me, frankly, I'm very attracted to the alpha male. But ladies, I'm so tired of seeing women complain on social media at how men do not pursue anymore. The entire freaking feminist movement made it inappropriate for a man to acknowledge your looks. I had a coworker at work the other day tell me, because I got my bangs, and he was like, "You look so beautiful with your bangs," and he immediately apologized to me for acknowledging how great I look. And I was like, why are you apologizing? But because immediately, as the compliment was coming out of his mouth, all he could see was Me Too or a freaking sexual harassment claim being filed at HR, and then he could lose his job, especially in freaking New York City. And he was so apologetic. I was like, never ever apologize to me for complimenting me. But that's what we've done, ladies. Chicks on TikTok, oh, why don't men pursue anymore? We did this. We created this freaking problem. I hate it, okay? I hate the system we've set up. We've villainized masculinity and somehow still expect it or demand it to pursue us. I would never pretend to understand firsthand the plight of modern men, and I'm not very prone to it because I've had my own experiences with men who don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But I did want to talk to two men who I trust, and that's my brother and my brother-in-law. They are both faith-filled, emotionally intelligent, grounded, loving, like genuinely loving men who love and cherish their wives, their children. They love me truly, to where I can be my full, inappropriate, unhinged self around. I wanted to hear from them because I knew if they told me their perspective, it wouldn't be an excuse. It was just kind of like research and understanding for me. And what they told me really opened my perspective and actually gave me sympathy for men that I've honestly never had before. And to risk misquoting, I'm just gonna read it verbatim. All right, so let me read this. Hold on, let me get past all of my inappropriate text messages. Okay. I'm telling y'all, you would not believe who I am. These text messages. You know, not that I'm disingenuous on camera, but my unhinged jokes, I don't know. I feel like God made me look like a woman, but he gave me the sense of humor of a straight dude. Locker room humor. My humor is just, I'm telling you, it's problematic. Okay, anyways, this is from my brother-in-law, Zach. He says, cool script. I know, of course. Anyways, he says, I think more than a want to be coddled or a want to be mothered or have it easy is the erosion of example. I have a hard time imagining even a place a young man spends his time learning how to be a good man. Few are lucky to have it by personal example and a father. But where are the masculine places that young guys are with lots of other solid guys? Basically, all of our surroundings are feminized. School is crazy when you think about it. Church is feminized. You grow up constantly being told what to do by women. When it comes to home, it is crazy hard to lead. It's almost like having a kid, feeling like no one gave you a manual. It doesn't matter though. A reality about being a man is that maybe your wife will care enough to hear your struggle out for a little bit, but if you don't get it together, she will detest you. And she should, you know, it's your job to lead. So you better learn, get over it and figure it out. It's likewise hard for a feminized woman, which all are to some degree, to be led. But this is her struggle that she must struggle towards as we do, trusting that it will get easier and more natural with time, and that the closer you walk to the created order, the more natural it will feel, and the more you will flourish. From the male side, to sum up the view of the world at large, is that there is just a huge lack of respect. And again, that text message coming from anyone else that isn't one of the men that I respect the most in this world. And then my brother also added, the chase of faux perfection in the flesh is the damning road to fear and death. Which I don't know if that was like a quote by him or not. If you made that up, Brian, that's impressive. But if not, tell me who that quote is by. But anyways, he says, what that means to me is that men are hyper-focused on a facade that appears on the outside to be strong-willed and protective, yet inside they are filled with fear and loss of self. The hardest people in our lives can be those closest to us without ever realizing it. Men have a natural tendency to provide, and women ultimately gravitate and desire that. But at times, they grow very dependent on that, and whether they know it or not, a man will burn himself out to achieve that for his family and friends at the expense of his own health, well-being, and safety. So, that just opened my mind so much, because these are two men who are not going around traumatizing women. They're not cheaters. They're in loving marriages. And for me, hearing their perspective, what I've learned is men were ultimately just expected to just know how to lead, how to pursue, how to be a man, but no one really taught them. Terrified of failure, of judgment and abandonment. And I really think that the previous generation, maybe even the ones before that, they failed them entirely. Modern men were not nurtured into manhood. They were thrown into it. They grew up shut down emotionally, and then we expect them to match women who were raised with emotional language, with emotional validation, emotional support, women who were raised in a society that's all about female empowerment and using your voice and girl power, all those things. So the wound here is that while women fight to be heard, men fight to be respected. And there's no grace. And the common thread here is that both genders just really want to be seen. Which brings me, more to the male side of things. So let's take a look at Zuko. Not as the scarred prince, but as the boy on that ship. Standing at the front, restless, obsessed with regaining his father's love. Every breath he takes is performance. Every fight is a plea. He's not angry. It's clear that he's just abandoned. He's not cruel, he's desperate. And as the old adage says, hurt people hurt people. Zuko is the modern man raised in conditional worth, performative worth. The man who thinks that achievement earns love. The man who believes that he has to earn the right to be chosen. And then there's Sokka.
Sitting around the house has made us pretty lazy. But I know just the thing to change that. Beach party!
Blubbering blob monster?
No, it's Suki.
Suki, we'll all understand if you break up with him over this. I think it's sweet.
He's funny, sarcastic, quick-witted, great with the ladies. But remember his face when he admits that he feels useless because he cannot bend? That insecurity all beneath his jokes. That is every man who hides inadequacy behind humor, behind detachment, behind bravado, pretending that they don't care. And then we have Aang.
You're playing games with him? The Avatar should be training.
The Avatar will be sent away to the Eastern Air Temple to complete his training.
I was afraid and confused. I didn't know what to do. I never saw Gyatso again.
A boy who, I think he's actually every man who avoids responsibility because he feels the weight of expectation so heavily that running seems so much safer than failing. I feel like Aang was someone who was just so afraid to lose himself that he would let the world burn to avoid responsibility, only realizing the consequences too little too late. But just like women need to take accountability, men do too. You can't control what was done to you. You can't control whether your father stood up for you or whether your mother enmeshed the lack of a role model that you had. You can't control that. But who you become now, that's your decision. And the sad reality is that many men choose escape with Porn, validation from fake women online just becomes a drug, and ego replaces your own integrity. Avoidance replaces accountability. You think that avoiding a commitment makes you the prize somehow, leaning into your feminine energy. But actually, the real prize is who you become when you lead with purpose. And without accountability, you burn your life down to avoid facing yourself. So here we are, two genders, both clearly very angry, both blaming, but both secretly wanting love. Blame doesn't change us, so perhaps accountability will. For women, accountability is putting the armor down, choosing peace over pride, softness over resentment, self-awareness over aesthetics. If every man that you meet is a cheater, maybe it's time to do some self-reflection of why do you keep attracting cheaters, or why, maybe you have anxious attachment styles, so maybe becoming more securely attached so that you can see red flags earlier on. There are things that you can do. I'm not victim blaming by any sense. It's unfair and it's cruel and it's horrible that men would knowingly ask a woman out when they have a whole girlfriend or a wife, but nonetheless, there are always red flags. Do you completely ignore those because you want to be chosen so bad? Then that's something that you can work on. So self-awareness, ladies, it's listening more than we speak. In New York City, I'm in corporate America, and I will tell you the smartest person in the room is never the loudest, never. The person who's yelling on social media is almost always the most insecure one. Remembering that insecurity is loud, but confidence is quiet. It's not silencing, it's not the patriarch silencing you. No, it's just having humility and recognizing that whenever you speak, make sure that you're adding value to the conversation. If not, then shut up. Okay. And then for men, accountability is facing yourself, healing in private so you can show up whole in public, respecting yourself when no one else is watching. Because the man that you are when you are alone at home, guess what? No matter how much you try to hide it, women will eventually, they will meet that man. You cannot hide him. So healing that part of you and becoming whole and actually open to real intimacy that isn't fake. But accountability, it can totally change habits. It's the first step, but it can't heal the soul. Behavior change without heart change is just performance. All that to say, and what is abundantly evident, whether you like it or not, is that our wounds, men and women, human beings, are spiritual. We don't need another argument. We don't need another debate. We don't need another podcast. We need a savior, okay? I don't care if that, we need a savior. Someone needs to freaking save us. And what does that look like? Like actually in practical sense, what does a savior look like? And this show gives us Uncle Iroh. Beloved Uncle Iroh is what every man and every woman needs. A mentor who doesn't shame, a presence who doesn't abandon, a love that doesn't condition. Watch the scene where Zuko finally collapses into Iroh's arms after betraying his own uncle who had done nothing but love him and stood by his side when the world cast him out. Zuko expects rage, punishment, rejection, and instead...
Where is he?
Your uncle's in there, Prince Zuko.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. My uncle hates me, I know it. He loved me and supported me in every way he could. And I still turned against him. How can I even face him?
Zuko, you're sorry for what you did, right?
More sorry than I've been about anything in my entire life.
Then he'll forgive you. He will.
Uncle. Uncle, I know you must have mixed feelings about seeing me. But I want you to know, I am so sorry, Uncle. I am so sorry and ashamed of what I did. I don't know how I can ever make it up to you, but How can you forgive me so easily? I thought you would be furious with me.
I was never angry with you. I was sad because I was afraid you lost your way.
I did lose my way.
But you found it again.
He gets an embrace so full that it just completely breaks him open. That moment is a revelation for us. Healing happens whenever we're held. truly as we are, and loved in spite of all of our crap. And that is the closest picture of God's heart that I've ever seen in fiction. He watches you run. He watches you numb. He watches you escape. He watches you lie. He watches you self-destruct, self-protect, self-sabotage, and he stays. Not with punishment, but with invitation, with arms wide open, with grace ready. Because the infallible truth that all humanity will come to, whether you like it or not, unfortunately, is that there's a longing within all of our souls and our hearts, that depth inside of us. It can only be filled by our Creator and the one who died for us to be close to us. Every single arc in Avatar points to the same truth. You cannot love yourself until you know that you are loved as you are. And no one knows you more intimately than the one who knit you together in your mother's womb. I know because I've lived it, okay? You're probably thinking like, it's easy for you to say that because you haven't been through what I've been through. I've been cheated on, lied to, abused, endured the worst caliber of men this world has to offer, okay? Like, men who tried everything in their power to break me, but they couldn't. And whenever I took all that pain and I just brought it and I just opened my heart to specifically Jesus, you know, he didn't erase my pain. He didn't make excuses for it. But what he did is he resurrected me through it. He turned betrayal into boundaries of how I now approach dating and people that I see, or man that I see, whatever. He turned heartbreak into discernment. He turned wounds into wisdom. Without him, without that healing, without that process, I'd be online probably claiming that all men are worthless cheaters, you know, like most women, projecting one man's sin over an entire gender rather than seeing where I could heal to ensure that I never attracted that sort of man again. Jesus, he doesn't promise that we'll never suffer. Certainly not. If anything, I think he puts suffering as an equation into this human experience because I believe that suffering just does something to us. It grows us more into versions of ourselves that we never would have been without it. And I hate it. I wish it wasn't a part of it, but it says that everything that flows from his heart is good. So if he saw that suffering was good for me, then I have to trust it. And seeing that the version that I am now, on the other side of suffering, I see the beauty in it and how it helps me to empathize and to be there for other women who are struggling, or even for other men. He doesn't promise we won't suffer. If anything, he guarantees that we'll suffer. But what he does promise is that he will restore what was stolen from us and that we never have to face it alone. So none of my pain was wasted. And your pain, or my pain, didn't have to define me or my entire freaking outlook on life or men, dating, or marriage, none of that. I learned that the greatest revenge of all was my peace and my healing. I know it's not sexy, it's not what TikTok tells you. You revenge posting on social media, no, that's not it. Your greatest revenge is your healing, is you finding yourself and finding true peace. And this is the invitation to open your heart, not to religion, not to rules, not even to me and my words, but genuinely to God who loves you enough to heal what you keep hiding and what you keep running from. He's not afraid of you, of the real you. He's the one person you can be authentically yourself with. And you know, if you're not ready for faith, totally fair, not preaching to you. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's welcome on this channel. Whether you're atheist, everyone is genuinely welcome here. Truly. Okay, have you ever seen an amazing movie and you're just like, God, I have to tell everyone about it because it was just the best movie ever? That's how I feel. This is not a channel where I just tell you things to give you feelings, okay? It's just the truth with what I found in my relationship with the Lord, and it's an ever-growing like journey. Everything that I'm exploring with Catholicism, Orthodoxy, everything, it's an ever-growing journey, but the fundamental truth is that I'm whole in Him. And the same way that I watch an amazing movie and I want to tell you guys like Lord of the Rings, that's even more so what I want for every single person that watches this video, for you to just experience the satisfaction and the fulfillment that He brings that I know nothing else in this world can bring, because I've tried it all. None of it worked. If you're not ready for faith, start with the honesty, okay? Stop commenting in anti-women or anti-men echo chambers and actually look inward. Where are you running? Where are you numbing? Where are you demanding what you won't embody yourself? Where are you blaming because it's easier than becoming? Do you outsource your worth and your validation? This gender war, no one's winning. We're all losing. Everybody losing. Like I said, I want to be married one day. Having guys treat me to 5-star restaurants in New York City because I freaking deserve it, okay? Come correct. And I expect you to pay. I expect you to pay, but I also bring the feminine energy. He brings the masculine. I'm not grilling him. Like, I don't know. Like, I think women just need to play Britney Spears and to just embody femininity again, because there's just something beautiful about the female experience that has been demonized and stolen from us, and it's so beautiful. Men seduce with power, with money. Women, we have such a gift, okay? And not talking about the Jezebel spirit, like that's no. A woman can be from a poor family, have nothing. Hence Cinderella, okay? Cinderella is a prime example. She can seduce just from who she is, from her purity, from her softness. That is our superpower. That's what we bring to the table, not just I'm not talking about our looks. Like if you take that as looks, and you're missing the whole point. There's something about softness, about being able to see other perspectives, about not seeing the world as something to overcome, but as something to understand that we bring to the table. That is just so unique and so beautiful. And I think women just need to embrace that again. So that was a huge tangent. What was I saying? Oh right, the gender war. No one's winning. Every insult pushes us further apart, further from one another's humanity, further from understanding, and further from the respect that we clearly both are trying to demand from one another. It's easy to say all men cheat, but beneath that is a woman who was destroyed by one man. It's easy to say, well, all women are crazy, but beneath that is a man who was never seen, so he doesn't bother to see the woman that he's with. God did not design us to live numb, bitter, disconnected. He really wants us to live this life and to feel it fully, to love deeply and to live honestly. Nor did he design us to hate each other, to compete with one another, or just to merely survive the other gender. He designed us to complete creation together, to carry what the other cannot, to balance what the other lacks, to love in ways that just make both more whole. Avatar: The Last Airbender shows us the consequences of the different paths we might choose. Zuko ran, but ultimately was found in humbling himself. Azula controlled, and she lost everything, even herself, never accepting love. These are not just cartoons, they're mirrors, you guys, of us, of broken men performing, of women cosplaying strength, all of us running from what hurts. But the story isn't over, thankfully. I don't buy into we're all doomed culture, because God says that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit, which I believe is Psalms 34:18. So the one who waits for you, he's not judging you, man. He's longing. He waits for us to freaking stop performing, to stop numbing, to just come home. Come home to yourself. Come home to truth. All the feelings you're afraid of feeling. And quit living in lies and addiction, because strength without love, it collapses. And love is what rebuilds everything. So hopefully, if you've made it this far, I just hope that maybe you learned something, maybe this was validating in some sense, but regardless, I just hope that you walk away knowing that men and women, we really were never meant to compete. We were always meant to create, to restore, to rebuild, not as enemies, but as partners together. Ladies, put on some Britney Spears and embrace your bad bitch femininity. Dudes, I don't know what your equivalent of Britney Spears is. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm not a dude. There was that dude on YouTube, that Nature Bro. I don't know. Find the equivalent of Britney Spears. So, yeah. Anyways, God bless. Be easy. Thank you for watching. Love y'all.